So the premise came about when I lost power in my house, and as I was sitting in my old Victorian house, I let my imagination get away from me. So, the premise. Thunder growled like a lion and roared through my house. Its force rattled window panes and shook my four-poster bed. My eyes opened as a large flash crackled past the windows. Another shudder, and everything stilled. My alarm clock blinked with red blocky numbers, and dawn struggled past an ocean of gray clouds. I swore under my breath with the realization I had overslept for work, but I was thankful I was working from home that day, which afforded some leeway in my start time. But my body felt heavier than usual, like freshly poured cement. I blamed my exhaustion on the storms which had tossed me around in bed as mightily as it had tossed the earth outside. An oppressive gloom crept from the shadows of my old Victorian house. Something was off. From an inner room of my mind, an alarm rose. Someone else was in my house. I lay frozen, immobile, as my mind whirred. It felt surreal, like trying to breathe while underwater, like trying to scream when you're asleep. Panic burst from inside me, but I couldn't command my body to move. Somehow, without moving from my bed, I saw him. A utility worker, a young man, with his blaze orange vest and yellow vest across his back, sat in my stairwell. His back was to me, his hands wrapped along both sides of his head and covered his dark curly hair. His elbows rested on dirty, jean-clad thighs. His head hung down, and he seemed as perplexed as me. "What are you doing here?" My voice quivered. He didn't move, only said, "Go back to bed. You're dreaming." "Am I?" "Yes," he sighed, looked briefly up, and then cast a dejected gaze at his heavy boots propped on the steps. "But are you really here?" "Yes." "Will you be here when I wake up?" "No." "Why are you in my stairwell?" "Don't know." "How did you get here?" "Don't know." I started to speak, then stopped. As if reading my mind, he said, "Still trying to figure it out." The utility worker stared out the window above the stairwell. My panic gone, my body unfrozen, I climbed out of bed and stood beside him. We both stared in the same direction through the window pane. Damp concrete and shallow puddles dotted the road. They were the only visible sign of the night storms. "Okay," I said. He sat. I stood. The dreamlike stillness enveloped us and left us mute, unquestioning, uncomprehending. With the same calmness, I returned to bed. That's where I'll leave it.